Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have 4 incredible stories. If you're new to this channel, a sub would be great. Let's jump to the stories. Our first story is, am I the a-hole for wanting my daughter's boyfriend / soon-to-be fiance to know her dark secret before marriage? I'm the dad of a 25-year-old young woman who I love very much. I've been able to have a good relationship with my daughter, and I enjoy my time with her. But there's one thing about her that would give many people pause. She is a diagnosed sociopath. She exhibited odd, disturbing behavior at a young age, and after a serious incident of abuse towards her younger sister, I realized she needed professional help. Throughout her elementary years, she struggled heavily, getting in lots of trouble in school for lying, cruelty, and all other types of misbehaviors. With an enormous amount of therapy and support, her bad behavior was minimized as she grew older. She received an antisocial personality disorder diagnosis at 18, and I had suspected it for a while. After her aggressive behavior was tamed, her following years were much more fruitful. She's law-abiding, has a decent job and a good education, and has many good friendships and admirers, especially male admirers. She is very, very charming and adept at attracting guys and maintaining their interest. She uses that old dating guide, The Rules, like a Bible. She currently has a boyfriend of about 1.5 years who's crazy about her and who I have a very strong relationship with. We live in the same area and spend time together regularly. He is a great guy, very kind, funny, and intelligent. But I doubt she loves him. We've had some very honest, in-depth discussions about her mental health since her diagnosis, and she's been open with me that she doesn't feel love or empathy towards anyone, even family. When she acted very sad and broken up over the death of one of her closest friends at the funeral, she confessed to me privately that it was all a put-on, and that she felt pretty neutral about the whole thing. She has also stated she has never once felt guilt about anything she's ever done, and doesn't know what guilt feels like. While she enjoys being around her boyfriend and is very attracted to him, I highly doubt she feels much of anything towards him love-wise. Her boyfriend, who might propose soon, has no idea about her diagnosis, and she's been very upfront with me that she has no plans to ever tell him, thinking it'll scare him away. I've made it clear to her that she needs to tell him the truth before they marry, that he has the right to know and consider it, or I will. To which she always responds, "I know you wouldn't dare." I actually would. I really like and respect this young man and would feel awful keeping this secret from him and letting him walk into a marriage without this piece of knowledge. I'm not trying to sabotage my daughter's future. Maybe her boyfriend's love of her personality and other aspects is enough that it won't end the relationship. It's his decision to make, but he deserves all the facts. Someday, he's bound to find out she's a bit off. It can't be kept a secret forever. Am I the a-hole to want my daughter to be honest with her fiancé? Our second story is, am I the a-hole for walking out on my wife when she talks in baby talk? Ever since we, age 27, had a baby, my wife had been talking like a baby herself. Rather than teaching the baby to talk like a person, it's as if my wife's language has become baby-like. She would make noises in between conversations like booty booty choop and awoo patata, even when talking with adults. This is especially embarrassing when I am with her in public places, when she talks like that to complete strangers. I've been telling her nicely to not do that, but she would just laugh it off, totally oblivious to how people around us stare whenever she talks like a baby. I have to point out that she is not in the spectrum, just a crazy new mom in fact. Too crazy sometimes. It was a day off for us, while we have my parents babysitting the baby, and we finally have some time by ourselves. We went out for dinner, and she did it again, talking to the waiter something like this. Yippee, thanks. Ya ha ha ha. Yo wo wah wah wah. By the way, can you give us an extra plate for this? Seeing how the waiter stared at her as if she was mentally challenged, I rolled my eyes and told her, I am taking a break today, and don't need a baby number 2 who cannot even talk properly to look after. Please excuse me. Then I left the restaurant without her. I don't know what occurred to me, but I probably shouldn't have done that, but I guess I kind of just snapped. Am I the a-hole for wanting my wife to talk and act like an adult and not a newborn baby? Our third story is, am I the a-hole for getting upset that my sister's fiance pulled me aside and patted me down at their wedding? The title sounds so stupid, but here we go anyways. I'm 24 and an addict who has been in recovery for the past 6 months. I used and used until I was basically in poverty, and my older sister helped bail me out more than once. She's my best friend, and I know it hurt her a lot to see me like that. She also met her fiance 2 years ago, and he really only knew me as the junkie brother then. He's not my biggest fan, to say the least, considering how much I put my sister through. Despite this, she still invited me to her wedding last week because I am her brother and she wanted me to be there. When I get to the reception, my brother-in-law is greeting people as they walk in. When I walk by, he pulls me to the side and in front of everyone starts patting me down and says that he needs to check me to make sure I didn't bring anything in. I instinctively pull away, because why wouldn't I? And I tell him not to touch me. He tells me to calm down and that if I want to be here, then he needs to do this. I tell him he's being ridiculous and try to push past him. He stops me and tells me that he doesn't want to throw me out, but he will if he has to. I told him that he's trying to look tough, but it's just making him look stupid. At this point, I'm getting more and more angry, and I'm practically yelling in his face at this point. Bystanders came between us and separated us, and told my brother-in-law to just drop it. He said he would, but that they can deal with it when I get out of hand. I just went to go find a seat after that. After the reception, a lot of my family told me that I should have just let him do the pat down and that I was acting like a huge jerk, like I had something to hide. I don't think he had any right to pat me down, especially in front of people, and I don't think my reaction was over the top. If anything, he was the one acting like a huge jerk by trying to start drama so he can look tough. My sister has refused to take any sides in this. Am I the a-hole for not agreeing to his drug pat down? Our last story is, am I the a-hole for blowing up at my stepsister at her comments about my lost weight? My stepsister, 20 female, and I, 24 male, have never gotten along. Her mom and my dad got married when we were 6 and 10, so we've known each other for a long time. In my stepmom's eyes, my stepsister could do no wrong, and anything bad that happened was pinned on me. My dad is a complete pushover, so he would always fall to whatever my stepmom would say. When I was about 15, I started gaining weight. My girlfriend broke up with me. Woohoo, high school romance. I started failing some of my classes, and I quit baseball. I started to stress eat and ballooned up from 125 pounds to 162. I guess at that point, my stepsister decided she was cooler than I was and started mocking me and making fun of me, calling me names like fatty and chubster. I would constantly go to my stepmom about it, and she would tell me she's just teasing. She's so much younger. Why are you getting upset? I got mad to the point where I just started avoiding her and locking myself upstairs in my room with a bag of chips. At 22, I hit 270 pounds, and I knew I had gone too far. I was way past my weight limit and bordering on obese. So as a New Year's resolution, I decided to start losing weight. I cut out all junk food and started hitting the gym. Around this time, my stepsister started to overeat too. I don't really know why, but she gained over 30 pounds. She was still constantly belittling me about my weight, which admittedly was way over hers. By the end of this year, I lost 120 pounds. It felt amazing. My stepsister now weighed more than me. Over Christmas dinner, all the aunts and uncles and cousins were complimenting me on my weight loss, telling me how I looked so much better. My stepsister just sat there smoldering. Every time someone said something, she'd add, "He's still pretty big." Well, he didn't get rid of that face roundness. Maybe lose a little more around that gut. It was infuriating, and I was getting angrier. Now here's where I might be TA. Finally, at her last little snide comment of, "Look, you know you'll just put it all back on. Why do you even bother?" I flipped out. I yelled, "Why can't you just be happy for me instead of getting on me for every little thing?" She said back to me, "Defensive much?" "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your 200-pound feelings?" I asked her. I probably should have stopped there, but I kept going. "Calling me a fatty? Look at your plate. You've eaten half the table, fatty." She started crying and left the table. My stepmom screamed at me, saying just because I was insecure, I can't take it out on everyone. I said, "Oh, so now you're talking? Never in the past 10 years of constant fatty and lard butt and porker?" "But you're way older," she whined. I left the table too and went home. I woke up today to 1,000 messages from my stepmom, my dad, and my stepsister. They were saying I wasn't welcome into their house until I apologized. I'm not going to apologize. Am I the a-hole for pushing back at my family? Should I apologize? Comment below.